when word went around almost 6 years ago that Masayoshi Takayama was going to bring one of his Las Vegas restaurants, Tetsu, to Tribeca, I can't say that my heart began to pound to the bongo beat of Viva Las Vegas. In fact, I braced for the worst. Eating in that city can be a wild ride, but the dining rooms often have an oversize, mall-like scale and the menus a safe, something for everyone vagueness qualities that, transplanted to New York, can be real buzzkills. As far as restaurants go, what happens in Vegas should usually stay in Vegas. But a lot has happened in the past 6 years. Some is too painful to recount, but luckily not the story of the Tetsu on Leonard Street, which finally opened in November. It has little in common with the Nevada iteration, which will close in April. The animating idea there was teppanyaki, sizzled on flat-top steel grills set into big half-moon tables that cooks stood behind, like blackjack dealers. But Mr. Takayama dropped that notion in Manhattan. Now his menu is dominated by food prepared on robata grills operated behind a dining counter, supplemented widely by other techniques, raw seafood, soups, slaws, fried stuff. The roomy, half-empty white and beige interior of the Casino Tetsu looks nothing like the shadowy and thickly settled Leonard Street Tetsu. Iron columns, steel seats, brick walls, and wood floorboards give the place the look of an after-hours downtown lounge from a few years ago, before industrial got self-conscious and became steampunk. The prices are also much lower than they were in Las Vegas, or in a sample menu Mr. Takayama floated for Tribeca in 2012. Only a handful of items on the 2-page dinner menu cost more than $20. Can this be the same chef who collects $595 a person, before tax, for dinner at Masa? Who sells a bowl of chopped tuna belly with caviar for $68 next door at Bar Masa and $78 at Capo Masa, across town, one and the same? True, Tetsu specializes in small plates, but then none of Mr. Takayama's other restaurants are particularly known for supersizing. What Tetsu does differently is to put away the luxury ingredients that are so central to Masas' experience and image. At last, New York has a chance to see just how good Mr. Takayama is when he isn't hiding behind truffles and caviar. He can, in fact, make less expensive seafood taste as precious as sturgeon roe. During the bay scallop season, which has an annoying habit of ending before I have eaten enough of them, Tetsu seared them with skinny lengths of asparagus and sent them out with garlic anchovy oil and lime juice, simmering in a hot bowl. I will be marking this on the calendar so I don't miss it next winter. For now there is a similar dish that operates on the same principle: tender, palm-size whole octopus sizzled in butter and lime with garlic, chopped cilantro, and strands of a green Korean chili. The biggest surprise was how much I liked the salads. The menu calls them slaws, which goes a long way toward repairing some of the injuries that word has absorbed over the decades. There is a superb one with fresh kale and fried burdock in an unexpectedly Southeast Asian lemongrass dressing, and another of cabbage and roasted duck stirred with, yes, mayonnaise. No supermarket mayo, it's flavored with fresh orange juice and sherry vinegar. If there was yuzu in the yuzudaikon slaw, though, it had walked off the job the night I tried it. Items from the robata, supposedly the heart of the restaurant, were more variable than you would hope. My table went quietly wild for the soy-marinated quail eggs and the pink pork sausage with flecks of yellow and green Thai chilies. Skewered coconut shrimp received polite nods. When you get the menu, though, your eyes will automatically go straight to the raw seafood, and they probably should. It appears twice, the first time in chilled appetizers that can share some of Masas' delicacy and subtle use of spice. Speckles of finely minced jalapenos. Little pearly pink bites of hamaki. In a more ordinary case, wasabi has been quickly grated over hunks of yellowfin tuna with a spoonful of simple guacamole. Raw seafood reappears at the end of the menu as hand rolls and nigiri. Here I have a confession to make. Almost all of my outer stratosphere moments at Masa happened before the barrage of sushi that ends the meal. Near the end of the game comes a mesmerizing hand roll stuffed with meltingly fatty tuna belly, but the nigiri on its own it would probably not land Masa in my top tier of sushi destinations. That is roughly my feeling about the sushi at Tetsu. Although the contrast there is less extreme, its nigiri can be inconsistent and is best employed as a short and satisfying last stop, not as the main event. Should you forge on to dessert, you'll find that the pastry chef, Matthew O'Haver, who doubles as the service director, does outstanding work. A plate-wide slice of grilled olive oil cake next to a thick stripe of tangy mascarpone, a brownie-like chocolate cake made with black sesame paste and topped with a powerfully appealing miso caramel sauce, a green peppercorn ice cream that clamps fire and ice together in a single rich scoop. At lunch, the menu is snipped from 2 pages to 1. A little bit is subtracted from each category and 2 new ones are added: burgers and bowls of squiggly yellow ramen. The ramens are a little smaller and more refined than usual, which may not be top priorities for the average ramen fiend. But given how low in salt and fat they were, relatively speaking, I was impressed by how much flavor made its way into the miso ramen with chashu and the shoyu ramen with very, very good braised short rib. Tetsu's burgers are cooked in a heated metal contraption with spikes that pierce the meat. Mr. Takayama designed it. I have not seen it, but it sounds like an Iron Maiden for the stovetop. The spikes are supposed to heat the interior, but the 2 burgers I've had were very rare with a notably dark sear. But the results were very different. I had an immediate, lingering, intensely positive reaction to the lamb burger under melted taleggio, but I would not order the under-seasoned and pulpy beef burger with cheddar again. The kitchen may also need more practice on the skinny fries. Tetsu fries. Once they were gold and cooked to a fine crackle, another time they were ghostly pale and limp. The lunch service is new and still fairly quiet. Dinner, though, can be a racket. If it's just you and a friend, sitting at the long counter made from a single plank of bubinga wood offers the best shot at privacy. Placed at one of the communal tables in back one night, I ended up next to a group that kept rowdily showing off its expensive wines. Viva Manhattan, I guess.